Hello everyone, welcome to Town Matters, coming to you from the BCTV studios in Brattleboro, Vermont. This podcast is to update you on current issues happening in Brattleboro town government. I'm Town Manager John Potter and your host on Town Matters. Today we're going over the Brattleboro Select Board meetings in July. There was a special meeting of the board on Tuesday, July 11th. A very full consent agenda of 10 items was approved 5-0, including several bid awards, grant applications, a memorandum of understanding with the Vermont River Conservancy, and a third-class liquor license. After approval of the consent agenda items, the board took up a second reading of utility rate ordinance changes and approved those changes in a motion that passed 5-0. This was followed by approval of the FY24 property tax rate, and next the board reviewed their retreat work and adopted 5 select board goals for 2023-2024. These were making the transportation center a good place for parking, developing an expansive vision for the town pool, finding a path forward for community safety, developing the concept of safety zones, and advancing housing initiatives. After setting their goals, the board had the chance to dig into one of them in detail, finding a path forward for the community safety review. After considerable discussion and hearing a number of comments from members of the public, the board directed staff to pursue Alternative D, update community safety, as the preferred alternative for the path forward on the community safety review. The board added 2 select board study sessions to the project plan and pushed out the schedule a bit. There will be a website and an email set up for this project, so please consider that will be available to you to track this work as it moves forward through the summer and fall and into the winter. Planning Director Sue Fillion joined the meeting next with a housing plan update. She discussed neighborhood development areas in town, new and proposed, housing unit applications, energy efficiency work, and work with the Housing Coalition. The board heard several public comments on the housing plan update and concluded the discussion without taking a motion. After the housing update, however, they held the first public hearing on a series of land use amendments. Planning technician Steve Hayes and Tom Masakowski, the Planning Commission chair, joined Sue, and they stepped through the details of these proposed amendments. Several additional considerations were raised by citizens to be analyzed for the second reading, which will be on July 25th. The board closed their July 11th meeting with several committee appointments to the Tree Advisory Board, to Senior Solutions Advisory Council, and to the Arts Committee. Of course, there is a recording of this meeting on BCTV, and a copy of the draft minutes will be in the backup materials for the meeting on July 25th. But first, there is a special meeting on July 18th. This will be a very short meeting to finish committee interviews that were started on the 11th and will be completed on the 18th with possible appointments made to the Development Review Board. That will be followed by an executive session. So that's July 18th. The next full select board meeting is on Tuesday, July 25th. At that meeting, there will be another installment of the Fire EMS Transition Project. The meeting on the 25th is scheduled to begin at 6:15 p.m. And unlike the meeting of July 11th, where we had 10 items on consent, there is only 1 item on consent for the 25th, and that is a bid award for some culvert work on Sunset Lake Road. The next item of business will be the second hearing and possible adoption of the land use regulations that were discussed earlier in the podcast. The Select Board is planning to be joined by the Wyndham Southeast Supervisory Union Board to discuss any feedback the Select Board may have on a WSESU board appointment. Following that, the board will consider an outside consumption permit that the Hart Rose Club on Green Street is requesting. The monthly EMS update will be next, and then the board will move into the Fire EMS Transition Project, where they will get an update on public engagement for that effort. They will next hear on the contracted EMS track responses from their request for information, and they will consider a draft request for proposals. On the municipal EMS track, the board will consider information about operating models and costs for that approach. There will be plenty of opportunity to hear from the public at that meeting and hopefully get feedback on the draft request for proposals that is planned to go out on August 1st, and also a critical look at the presumed operating costs for the municipal approach. As always, there is lots of information about the Fire EMS Transition Project, which you can find on the town website. Look for the banner on the homepage at brattleboro.org. The meeting will be closed out with a project update on the Living Memorial Park generational improvements. And there you have a synopsis of the 3 Brattleboro Select Board meetings in July. There is still lots of additional information on the website, brattleboro.org, about what is discussed at the Select Board meetings. So please check in there for agendas, reports, and backup materials. And if you have any feedback on this broadcast, email me at any time at townmatters@brattleboro.org. Finally, before we leave you today, a few announcements. There will be a downtown community safety fair on August 8th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Rec and Parks Gibson-Aiken Senior Center. This is a chance for anyone interested in downtown safety to get together and discuss what's on their mind. A reminder that the 4th floor of the Transportation Center is closed for parking until Friday, July 28th at approximately 5 p.m. This is to work on some of the leaks in that building. And I hope everyone is noticing the work on the granite steps in front of the Municipal Center. They are being reset by Sunset Lake Builders, and we really appreciate that work that's going on. That's all we'll go over today. Look for the next episode in early August. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy this hot summer weather, Brattleboro, and talk with you again soon.